Now, the May Bank Holiday weekend brought a new burst to life to Miltown Malbay as a brand new festival celebrating traditional Irish music made its debut and led by the renowned musician Joanie Madden. The festival's already been hailed as a major success, giving local businesses a welcome boost and earning comparisons to a mini Willie Clancy. To find out more about how it all went, we're joined by the aforementioned Joanie Madden and the owner of Friels in Miltown Malbay, Mickey Wilson, and you're both very welcome to the show. And Joanie, it wasn't too long ago you were with us to preview the inaugural May Day Festival, and at the time I said to you, you had loads on offer, you practiced everything but the kitchen sink. It sounds like having such a great and extensive offering went down really well. You must be really pleased with how it all passed off.
Well, good morning, Alan. Thank you very much for having us on. And again, I have to say thank you very much to Clare FM for all the promotion they gave of the festival. Myself and the committee were just absolutely overjoyed to see the response in the town. You can put all this work into an event and just nobody shows up. But by God, we had people coming in droves. Every concert was packed. For Cherish the Ladies concert, we had over 400 people in the hall. And wonderful people showed up at the door, whether it be T.R. Dallas stopped by, and we also had the incredible Matt Cain, Dolores Cain's brother. He's an incredible singer. He showed up with his family, and all kinds of musicians came from far and wide to boost the sessions that we had. But I have to say a big thank you to all the wonderful pubs in town and the restaurants. We reached out to them. I said, we can't do this without you. And they all put their backs to the wheel, and everybody pulled all the stops and had music in all the pubs, and it became an incredible event. It just was beyond our means of how well it would go down, and we're just chuffed and so excited. And I guess now they keep saying, roll on next May Bank Holiday weekend for 2027, the first weekend. Block your calendars now.
I did say that to you at the time. It's going to be the first of many, and that looks like how it's going to pan out. And I mean, look, Joanie, you'd be well known through fans of your music, but also your peers, and you mentioned some of the other great names from the world of music as well. But even despite all of that and some of the great acts you lined up, when you are putting together something for the first time, is there still that kind of slightly in the back of your mind nagging sense of what if this doesn't quite go as well as I expected, even with the kind of your reputation? Were you still a little bit worried that it might not pass off as well as you hoped?
Well, Alan, I don't usually get too nervous, but I'll tell you something. I was nervous. I swear to God, I don't get nervous for running too many things, but seriously, our committee really, everybody pulled together, and I had Anya Hensey and the Olga Vahan, Cara Vahan, and Mary Coogan and Bruce Foley. We have a small committee, and that's the way I like to work things. Keep it together as a tight unit, and everybody had their job, and everybody did it, and in spades. And we just each took whatever came upon us, we took care of it. But even the puppet show that we ran, which I didn't know how that would go. We had a 10-1. There was nobody in the hall, and a 10 after 1. There was 132 families there taking part in the wonderful event of Your Man's Puppets, which was just incredible. And our set dancing was packed. We had PJ Murray. The dance floors were packed at the West Bridge. Sessions galore and Friels every night. The music was just unreal. Everybody was on a high, and there was such a buzz in the town. It was just so great to feel and see. And the weather was supposed to rain, and even that stayed away for us. So we couldn't ask for anything better.
Okay, everything went your way. And Mickey, as Joanie says, Friels is packed. I mean, from a local business perspective, not just for yourselves at Friels, but all the other businesses in Miltown Malbay. How significant was the inaugural May Day Festival?
Good morning, Alan, and welcome to lovely old Miltown. What can I say about Joanie Madden? What a lady. And is a great flute player from Kilfenora. I don't know who said to me, he said, wouldn't we love to have a Joanie Madden in Kilfenora? And doesn't that say it all, Alan?
It does.
What a woman. And she mentioned Matt Cain. I never met Matt Cain, Dolores' brother. What a man and what a family, and what they give to Miltown and pubs. They give entertainment. They sang in various pubs around the town. You had a Kelly family, a very musical family, Pratt family that flew in from New York. And a surprise visit, and visit some pubs in Miltown Malbay, and it starts the tourism here in Miltown Malbay, which is a great, it's a great buzz and a great start to the business people of Miltown Malbay. Pubs, restaurants, hotels, Airbnbs, coffee shops, design banks, retail, the fast foods, the supermarkets. They were all delighted with the event over the May weekend, because the May weekend can be, as you know, Alan, very, very, poor, and the weather was very suitable, as Joanie said there. And then we're very lucky to have Sean Malone has a caravan park in the town, and that was full. And Joanie had her head screwed on because, as I always say, Joanie is a very, very shrewd businesswoman. She had those concerts at 7 o'clock that were over at 9:30. It gave the time for all those people to fluctuate around the town, to visit the restaurants, to visit the pubs. And by God, did they have a fun time in Miltown Malbay.
Yeah, it certainly sounds, Joanie, as Mickey says, your head screwed on, and I'm sure that was all, part of the forward planning.
Sometimes, Alan.
But it must be lovely to know that, you've come, you and the rest of the committee members, you've come up with something that led to people having a lot of enjoyment at a time that, bank holidays are times when people tend to enjoy themselves, and as Mickey said, it can be a quieter time, so it must be great to know you brought something that people had a lot of fun around, but that helped the local economy as well at a time when it wouldn't get that boost.
Well, honest to God, myself and every member of the committee, every one of us have been contacted by dozens and dozens of people. The overwhelming feedback, to meet some of the shop owners coming down the street and them come out and grab you and hug you and say, my God, you put me over. You took the sting out of what I have pressures of paying my bills for the next few months. Let us hold on to Willie Clancy. And that's what we were doing this for. All of us on the committee believe in the town. We have so much to offer in Miltown. The talent around that we have, we pulled so much from our local talent, as well as going far and wide to get some big names in there too. But we don't have to go too far because we have such an incredible array of talent that live in our area. And not only did we have people we had people from Vermont, we had people from Minnesota, we had people from Wisconsin, we had people from Connecticut, we had people from England. People came from far and wide for the festival, and they're all coming back next year. But we also had our own townspeople that they came out. Because sometimes, the townspeople, they don't come out, but they did. Our whole community came out in droves. All the locals were out, and it was wonderful for everybody. So everybody was on a high. Honest to God, the buzz around the town was the best I felt. And, we all love Willie Clancy, of course. And we also have the Crinu Festival in February, which is also an incredibly attended event. But it was just great to do something in the middle of spring. And it was just, spring was in the air, and everybody was up for it. And all the townspeople, from young and old, couldn't stop telling me how much they enjoyed it. And please, God, please tell us you're doing this again next year. So the committee, we all looked at ourselves after the weekend and said, I guess we have to do this again. So we can't wait for next year.
And even though it did only happen last weekend, how soon or far do thoughts turn to the second May Day Festival? And how far out do you need to start planning that and booking acts and so on?
We're already thinking. But we know we're on to a home run as far as our ideas. But the whole thing, I said, let's do something for everyone. It didn't matter if you had some contemporary music or if you had traditional music. We had waltzing and jiving. I mean, we had a conga line in the town from Patrick O'Sullivan dancing. There was something for everybody, and ballad singing. We had traditional ballad singing that would hark back to the days. I think there was 42 singers at the ballad concert and at their ballad sessions. I mean, these things people came from far and wide because we want to grasp onto bring back the old and the new. And people were coming to me saying, thank you so much for putting on something that people of our generation can enjoy. So we had stuff for young and old. We had something for everybody, and it worked.
It really sounds like it did, and Mickey, like everyone, and had such a great time, and the business has benefited as well. It must be wonderful to know that you can expect it on the calendar for 2027. You have it to look forward to.
Well, as Joanie said herself at the concert, it's an annual event, and when Joanie says it's an annual event, you can bet your dollar bill it will be an annual event, and she'll get all the backing from all the business people in Miltown Malbay. And I can't praise her and her committee led by Anya Hinchy, retired from Tina G, but what a woman and what a committee she has. And the people and the business people of Miltown Malbay appreciate, as I said, the kickstart to the tourists, because we're all, talking about things are bad, but this was a big lift for Miltown Malbay. And as Matt Kane said to me, and he's leaving and he's shaking my hand, he said, Mickey Wilson, you have a town and don't lose it. He said, lovely old Miltown. And you know what? He was telling the truth. Yeah. A lovely man and a great character and great, as I say, great entertainment in the various pubs. And, as I said it to Joanie, he was in the audience on the Saturday night. There was no rehearsed, nothing. Joanie invited him onto the stage and he sang beautifully. And no rehearsing, nothing. Just off the body. Well, and as I said, we're very, very lucky in Miltown Malbay with the talent, as Joanie already has said, with the local talent she had. She had the Nealans, she had the Shannons, and she had the Griffins on the Friday night with Don Stiff.
Well, look, hopefully you'll get lots of more local talent and indeed more national, international acts for the 2027 iteration of the May Day Festival. But still time to bask in the afterglow of the inaugural one last weekend. My thanks to Mickey Wilson there, the owner of Friels and Miltown Malbay, and also Joanie Madden for joining us on Morning Focus.